Hi, and welcome back, guys, to the
Woo!
last episode of the season. It's Bachelor Buzz, the best place to come for recaps on your favorite reality TV dating show and the latest in Bachelor Nation news. We are, of course, your hosts, Arena.
And Julia, and today we are talking about the season finale, the final episode of Grant Ellis's Bachelor season 29. And honestly, I have to say, it was a pleasant surprise. I loved it. I looked at the clock, we're 2 hours deep. I'm like, I am locked into this. Like, there wasn't a boring moment. I loved it. It was a really good finale. I feel like we finally kind of got back to the Bachelor roots of like drama. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk through that today. Yeah, there was drama, there was, a lot of emotions, and there was, I mean, we have to remember, like, yeah, it's a little messy, but this is what the show was before
Yes.
people started leaving on the, day before or telling them, hey, I already made a choice. Like, this is what this show was for a long time. Two people at the end, and you break up with one and you propose to the other. So it was kind of nice to see that again. We haven't seen that in a while, not
Yeah.
since Charity, right?
Yeah, Charity, and they brought her out too because they had a discussion about loving multiple people or more
Oh,
than one
yeah.
person. And yes, we know that Charity season, she felt like she was in love with both Joey and Dotton, but
hmm
she was like, really, she just wasn't listening to her gut because her gut was telling her
Yes.
Dotton, and it was a different love. So obviously, her and Joey are
Right.
still friends and they've gone on
Yeah.
vacations
It's
together with their
evolved.
significant others. Yeah. But yeah, it was. Can we please talk about that for a minute, though?
Yes.
Charity Clayton,
Clayton, good to
stop
see
it.
you, buddy.
Did you see the
And
mullet?
Susie was
Did you
there
see the
in the,
mullet? I know Susie was
oh,
in the
yeah.
audience next
Susie,
to Charity and
no.
Dotton.
It was so
And
funny.
then of course Gary from the first
And
season of The
Gary.
Golden Bachelor. We all know how that went down.
Yeah.
And
Charity was
Gary,
carrying the team there for the advice.
yes, she was. And I love how Charity said at one point towards the end of that segment, she's like, "Well, try not to wait till 45 minutes before to make a decision." Oh,
Oh my God.
Charity. That was funny though.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
but yeah,
She's so cute. I love her.
she's so cute. I love seeing Charity all the time. Clayton, wow.
hmm
I was surprised to see Clayton. He has not
Yeah.
been on the show for after the
No.
final rose for years since his, right?
Yeah. He
So
is coming out of the woodwork.
he really is.
I have been a supporter of Clayton though. I mean, that
Mhm.
whole, you
Yeah,
know,
everything that.
paternity
Mhm.
drama
Yeah.
case was really, really hard to see. So I'm happy
Mhm.
that he's like gotten back on his feet.
Yeah.
Everyone's moved on from the drama of his season.
Yeah.
So maybe he is happy to like kind of get involved again with Bachelor
Yeah.
Nation.
Maybe doing
Yeah,
his
that was
thing.
definitely a surprise. Yeah, you're right. He had a mullet.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he was talking about,
I
but
don't
I
know
just
either. I just was staring at
like,
the mullet. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I was like, huh? But you do
yeah,
you, Clayton, as we say, you're dancing, you're enjoying life, you're wearing the hair you want
real
to.
estate.
Do you? Yeah, like
Wearing the hair you want to.
yes.
Isn't that the
Just
goal in life?
yes.
Just wear the hair you want to.
Wear the hair you want to.
Love it.
So, and then
But yeah,
Gary, fun-loving
yeah,
Gary, is
Gary.
just like,
Gary.
well, always smiling. Gary always smiling.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
he
looking
looked good though.
carefree. He did. His
Um,
skin looked really nice. I felt like,
mhm,
wow, Gary, yeah, just living that best life too.
yeah. But okay, so obviously we want to talk about the families meeting the girls.
Hmm.
I didn't take a ton of notes. I was just watching.
Yeah, me too.
But Latia, she just always comes off. We've talked about this before, so mature, so put together,
Hmm.
saying the right things,
Hmm.
looking the right way. His
Hmm.
family really liked her,
Yeah, yeah.
is very clear.
Hmm.
She
And
seemed really confident.
she said that she loves him too, and that if he said
Yeah.
asked her to marry him, she would say yes. Because I remember that's what the mom asked her and Juliana. But yeah, it was like you said, she's very mature, knows what she wants, very much a different vibe from Juliana.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that it's like they just seemed really in love, and like the way they were talking, it just made me feel like I'm really happy for Grant. Like I posted a little thing at that point. I was like, Latia really seems in love with him. Like they both just seem
Mhm.
very in love. And I was kind of like, wow, I think it might be Latia at the
Mhm.
end. I've been saying that more recently. Like at first I was very much like, oh, it's Juliana, no doubt. But
Mhm.
lately I've been like, oh, it's Latia. I think that just she's showing her feelings more.
Mhm.
So that made me like buy into it more, where it's like, oh wow, he's gonna choose her. Um, so I was wrong, but but
Sure.
it was, it just you could tell that their feelings were very deep. And it made me just happy for him
Yeah.
because like I wanted him to have this kind of connection,
Yeah.
like with Jen, it was like, who likes her, who doesn't. Like the whole time it wasn't really
Ugh.
like Devin really was the only one who seemed super into her. And then look how that turned out.
Ugh.
You know, pour
Ugh.
one out for Jen again.
Yes. Yes.
But like
Gosh.
with Grant, I was happy to be like, okay, maybe this really is working the way that
Mhm.
it's supposed to for him. I don't
Mhm.
know. Did
Yeah.
you kind of feel that too? Or
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like, he really was in love with both women, and
yeah.
I felt like both were really in love with him. Obviously, Juliana is, but
Yeah.
I think that um, it just seemed so deep with Latia, but I also feel like we saw what the show wanted us to see with Latia, and they chose not to show as much with Juliana in terms of deep conversations. We saw some, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't see the extent of what sounds like Juliana and Grant had
Mm-hmm.
in the way that we did with Latia. And like I said, remember, like, I thought it was so tricky because towards the end, it's like they were showing, oh, it's Latia, Latia, because
Yeah.
she was the first one he said, I love you to. And then she said it. And it seemed like she was so confident. And I was like, I bet they're tricking us. I bet it
Yeah.
is Juliana. And because it
Yeah.
was just so like, they like to trick us. And I just felt like, I don't know. And plus, the thing that I feel I did not really focus on as much until
Mhm.
this episode, towards the end of the episode, was the whole thing about when they're gonna have kids with Latia. Because Latia
Yes.
was very
They
much,
really talked about that.
yes. And I think we were so focused on the her religion that the whole thing, like, he wants kids, we know that. Grant wants a family.
Yeah.
However, Latia is 31 and Grant is now 31. And
She wants them soon.
let's go. Yeah.
But like again, she was kind of saying the right things. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, looking back on it, like now that I've seen everything, and we will talk about it as we continue our recap, but like
Mhm.
looking back, it makes me question whether or not she was serious and like really being like, oh, I'm okay with waiting. I'm okay with moving. Like that just seems so like too good to be true. I don't know. I don't want to question anything that she said, but I'm also kind of like, she was kind of saying all the right things
I felt like,
unexpectedly. I
yeah.
don't know.
I feel like I think with the moving, I believe that she was open to moving because it might be exciting for her to live somewhere else other than really Utah and that whole Wyoming area because it's
Yeah.
all very similar. But I feel as though with the children, I almost feel like, and obviously we don't know for
That's
sure, we can't speak
right.
for her, but I felt like I wonder if she was compromising for him
Yes.
and just
Yeah. That's a
saying,
good way to
like you
kind
said,
of look at
saying the
it.
right things and compromising for him, knowing that he's probably not going to be ready in 2 years. I
Mhm.
really am. But she said, it depends on the reasons you would give. And she was honest in that way. But I feel like, no, she's yearning to have kids in two
Yeah.
years once she meets that person. And I was even saying, like, to a friend of mine who was on our show last season, or not
Oh,
last season,
yeah.
2 seasons ago, Elizabeth, we were texting about this, and I was like, she just needs to, I feel like Latia needs to meet a man who is older and
Hmm.
is like ready right now. And
Yep.
a man who is her
A
age, because
man of
men are on a
faith.
different, yes, a man of
Yeah.
faith who is older and ready to have kids like yesterday or to have kids again like
Yeah.
yesterday. Grant is 31. And yes, for a woman, 31 is different than 31 for a man
It
most of
really
the time.
is. Like
In
he's
most of the
probably
time.
just now thinking, oh, I could have
Yes.
kids. I could start thinking about it where like she's
Mhm.
probably got names picked out,
She
strollers picked out. Like,
she knows.
you
Yeah.
know, at 31, you definitely like have more pressure. And this is not for all women. Many
Yeah.
women don't feel that.
Yeah.
But clearly she
She
does because
does.
it is something that she's talked about multiple times on the show.
Yes.
So yeah, I just always thought that I just thought that was like very interesting. Like, wow, she's really saying the right things.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, if she stuck to her guns, perhaps, again, I don't know what her guns are, but if she was firm in wanting to start a family,
Mm-hmm.
like that would possibly sway his decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe part of him could tell that it would be a sacrifice. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the thing that made him realize he's not her person.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I
I think
agree.
there were,
I think that that was a big part of it. They're in different parts or stages of their life. And
mm-hmm,
even towards the end, when Grant's dad showed up again, just before Grant made his decision, his dad was talking to him, and Grant said to his dad, you know, I've got one woman who's, knows exactly, she's 31 and she knows what she wants, and she's, and obviously that's Latia. And then he's like, and then things with Juliana are fun.
I
And he said it
know.
was such lightness. I don't love that he said just like
I
fun
know
because
it
I feel like
sounded
that's
bad, but like I think
I know
you
what he was
can
saying.
figure it out. He
Yes.
means it's fun. It should be
Yeah.
easy. It should be
Yeah.
your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, as he keeps
And
saying,
it's,
she's his best
yeah.
friend now.
And it's not like they didn't have deep talks.
Yeah.
She
They had
was one
deep.
of the first that we saw
Yeah.
have
Like
a truly deep emotional connection with him.
yeah, and they have similarities in terms of understanding addiction from the standpoint of a loved one. And that is something that, unless someone goes through that, they're not going to understand. And so that's a really great thing. Not good that it happened in their lives and to their loved ones, but like a thing that they connect on that's a very serious thing. And as much as someone else would want to empathize with that, they can't really understand it. And I'm not
Right.
saying that's a reason not to be with someone, but I mean, I'm sure that was also one of the things that really was part of his decision making is how they connect on that. And he did keep saying that they can grow together and
They're
they
the
can be
lone
there for each
wolves.
other. Yeah, they're the lone wolves. And it just, yeah, they're fun together. They're cute together. I know we're skipping to Juliana, but like, guys, like, I think that, also the fact that Grant may have thought, well, it makes sense with Latia, like it makes sense. Kind of like maybe he kind of thought, not in the same way, but kind of thought that Zoe makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
he just wasn't letting himself feel what he truly felt, which was for
Yeah.
Juliana. And that's what he really wanted. That's what his heart wanted. But maybe he thought, well, I don't know, like maybe it needs to be more serious, or maybe it needs to
Right.
be this other person for whatever X, Y, and Z reason. But I feel like, he made the right decision.
I was just
And
gonna ask, do you think it was right? I
I think
agree.
for
I
himself,
think
yeah.
I think that like just it's like he looked at Lucia. She was on a pedestal. We've talked about
Yes.
this before. She was on such a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put someone on a pedestal, you're not really seeing them for who they are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not really how relationships should work. Like you should know the person
Yes.
and then love them,
Yes.
not love them and try to know them, you know? And I just feel like he saw Juliana and she saw him. And they literally talked about it. Like there's just a lot of like growth that
Mm-hmm.
they both talked about. Like I'll fill his cup, he'll fill mine. You know, those are the kinds of things that create like a long-standing relationship. So I agree. I think it was the right decision. We were team Juliana from the beginning. We should, I mean, I'm the one
You
who
were
swayed. I feel
from the
bad, but
no, it's okay.
we
Like
should have, you know,
it's
it was
just
right.
it
Mm-hmm.
was right. It was so right. And I just feel as well that I don't know, we'll get to the response
I know
at
we're
the
skipping
end.
around
We're
so
skipping around, guys,
much.
but let's get to the meat of it. I kind
Yeah,
of
let's
have
just
some
go ahead.
other
Mhm.
things. So we see that they have, he brings Latia to meet his family, goes well. He brings Juliana to meet his family, it goes well. His
Yeah.
dad loved Juliana. You could tell the
Yeah.
difference too. It's not that he disliked Latia, but there was some difference there, the way
She got
he
along with
really
him.
liked, yeah, because, and I think part of that is, like Grant mentioned, his dad grew up in Brooklyn and there were a lot of Italian people in
Yeah.
Brooklyn. So he
Hmm.
was used to being around a lot of Italian people, and that's probably part of it, that he just felt that, like, that familiarity from his childhood and everything. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was a different vibe. And Grant's mom asked Juliana the question, like, do you love my son and everything? And Juliana was honest.
She
She
was
was she was very
very
honest, which is
honest.
important, and I think his mom respected. And the mom being a mom, obviously, when you have a son, was just kind of like, I gotta be honest with you, like to Grant, like if she's not there, if she doesn't love you, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you to walk away from that. And not because she didn't like Juliana, it was just, you want to protect your child even when they're adults, right? And their
Yeah.
heartbreak. But so that happens and it's all great. They go on their last dates. He meets with Juliana first that night. They talk, everything. Then he meets with Latia the next night. They talk, so great. And then we get to that day. And he
The
is
next day,
torn. Yes, the
this
next day.
man, he's
Can't.
like, I need another day. It's like,
Yeah, he's
Grant.
like, I don't. He's sitting there. He's just like,
He's, yeah. Neil Lane is like, which ring do you want? And he's like, I don't even know which girl I want. Like,
Neil Way.
oh my God.
Getting those free trips to the
Freaking
islands
Neil
every year.
Lane. That was the smartest thing that man ever did, get involved
Yes.
with Bachelor. My ring
Yes.
is Neil Lane, like
Is it?
literally. And I was
Oh
like, oh
my
yeah, Neil
gosh.
Lane. I
Oh
want
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah, my rings. Neil
Oh my
Lane.
gosh. That's even more reason why you're doing this
I know it
podcast.
all. It's what kept me into the Bachelor franchise. I got married. I got married, and I was like, "Oh yeah, The Bachelor. Better go start a podcast."
Yeah, it's like it's so funny. I would love to know like how many people out there actually though discovered Neil Lane because of the show. And it was like,
100%.
oh, like Neil
Yeah,
Lane. I know that guy.
yeah.
But so we see him finally, it's raining also, which oh my gosh, very
Dun dun dun.
yes, very
Yeah,
appropriate for this very hard decision he's still having trouble with. And then, he goes and he meets Jesse, and Jesse's kind of like, okay, yeah, you gotta let me know, man. Like,
yeah.
I gotta know who to send out first. They're
TikTok.
both on their way.
Yeah,
And then finally we see that he's made his decision, and the black SUV rolls up, and as soon as those shoes come out, I knew it
I
was Latia
know. I
with
saw
that
the dress.
dress.
I was like,
Yep.
oof.
I was like, it's
I was
Latia.
surprised. But I felt like part of me was like, Latia is actually the safer choice because I feel like if he chose Latia and then he pulled in Ari and was like, oh, I don't know, I want to be with Juliana, he
Hmm.
he could still maybe get Juliana.
Yeah.
But if he pulls Juliana and then is like, oh, I want Latia, Latina's out. No,
Yeah.
no.
She's
But
out.
like, that's a horrible way to think of it. I totally admit that. But in my head, I'm always like, is this going to last anyways? What's the strategy kind of too,
Yeah.
because some people really are in it for the strategy. I don't know, like whatever. But I did feel like this was genuine, which I was really glad about. And I think that maybe he was thinking that too, but I'm just so glad once again, it just proves that he's like willing to risk it
Hmm.
to be with Juliana. He
Hmm.
wasn't thinking Latia in the back pocket at all. Like he was ready to break up with her, break her heart. Cause truly, this man, I mean,
Oof.
he led her on. She
Yes.
was blindsided.
Yes.
Blindsided, definition of blindsided. Now,
Yes.
he has come out and been like, that's her truth. I remember it differently. Okay,
Mm.
Grant. We
Mm.
all saw what happened with Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the best memory of your verbatim
Mm-hmm.
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever. That's beside the point. The point
Mm-hmm.
is she was blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
He led her on, and
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty devastating.
Yes.
It was hard
And
to hear.
I feel like, I know that this is the show, and obviously this creates the drama, and this is why a lot of people watch, right? This is the show. It makes it more interesting and
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. However, like you were saying, he did lead her on. And I do not love that. He should have kept that information to himself. He literally was telling her, it's you, it's you, it's you. And I know,
It's
like, I
you.
read in the comments and some
Hmm.
Instagram posts, I don't remember who these were, but some people were like, well, I think she assumed. No, she literally said that's what he said to her, literally from night one.
Yes.
It was a continuous thing where
Like, we could
he,
leave right now.
yes,
It's you.
yes. And it's like,
And
dude,
she even, yeah, go on.
like, don't. And he's like, well, I just love, like, I just wanted to be honest with my feelings. Like, this is kind of how he put it later on. Like, I listened to the interview that he did, not
Hmm.
the whole thing, but like Bachelor Happy Hour guys that
Oh,
he
okay.
had with Juliana. And
Oh my God, that's already out. I need to
yeah,
listen
they're the only
tomorrow.
ones that I think released anything. And
I always
I
get it.
was,
Why can't we be like them? Come
right,
on. Like
well,
and
because
subscribe,
they
share.
get the right, subscribe and share. They get the whatchamacallits, they get to see the episode
Yeah,
ahead of
of
time. So
course.
this is why
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, and they're a franchise podcast. So they watch it like
Yeah.
Sunday, Saturday night, and
Totally.
then do
Yeah,
their
I know. I
thing.
mean, I definitely know why, but it's
Yeah, but
okay.
it's
Just
it would be
salty.
great if we could get the early
I know.
episodes. Hello,
Send them to
Bachelor
us,
franchise.
ABC,
Hello.
Hulu.
Hello. Send us to the after the final rose and give us the
Yes.
screeners. Thank you.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, so he was saying that like he was just, honest the whole way and honest with his feelings. There is honesty, but then there is borderline hurting someone. And so the
There is
best thing,
recklessness
yes,
in
thank
your
you. That
honesty.
is what
Hmm.
I'm looking for here. He was reckless. I don't care what he says, I don't care what he remembers.
Yep.
He was
100%.
reckless and he should not have been. And then in that interview, I found out that Giuliani was like, well, yeah, he was telling me, like, when the last time we saw each other, that, it was me and like he was going to propose to me. And
Hmm.
so I knew it was me. And I was kind of like, but Juliana, like, I don't think she saw the full episode. I was like, girl, do you know he said the same thing to
She did
Latia?
not.
Because
Yeah.
so really, truly, who would have known? Because he was
Yeah.
saying it to these last two women. And I do not like that at all. I'm so happy for him and Juliana. That doesn't
Yeah.
take away from what they have. It's beautiful what they have. And on the other side of that, he was so wrong with Latia.
Ugh.
That was so, that
And
he
it's
should
not
not
even the
have been.
words he said, but the
Yes.
actions. He gave
Mhm.
her a journal. He
Yes.
said, write all your thoughts so we can read it together
What
when we're
the?
married.
What
And like,
the?
what? And then he like FaceTimed her mom with her and was like, I'm going to propose to your daughter. It's
Why,
like,
girl?
Grant,
Why?
Grant, you
Why?
can't be doing
You
this.
cannot.
No, it's one thing to say, I love you to both.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
It
been
happens.
there, done that. This is
Hello.
common.
Yes.
It happens.
Welcome to the show. Like,
But to like actually speak about the engagement and such like assuredness,
hmm
that's what's hurtful. And
hmm
you could just tell, like Latia, her reaction, it was different than
Yeah.
most girls in this position.
Yes.
Mostly we get the crying, the
Mhm.
okay, like good luck, whatever,
Mhm.
goodbye. She was pissed.
Yeah.
She was mad. She
hmm
was sad and confused, as she
hmm
put it. And I don't blame her at all. Um, I do feel like she kind of took it an extra step though, and being like, well, I wouldn't want to be Juliana if you had so much trouble. Like, that was a little
Well,
kick in the guts.
she was like,
But
yeah, like I want to be with a man who has absolutely no doubts that
right,
he's picking me. And yeah, that
which
was a
isn't
little.
wrong.
I
I
don't think
agree.
she
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 does deserve
meant to
that.
slight her, but
Yeah.
it
Maybe I
it
took it that way.
kind of
I
came
was just
off.
kind of like, I
It
was
could
like,
come off that
okay,
way.
we don't have to say that. But
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Anyways, she
yeah.
was just
You know,
very pissed at Grant.
yeah,
But like, yeah, I mean, I would be pissed too. Like,
yeah.
it just, I don't
Oh
know. I'm
my
getting heated
God.
again. It's like,
Yeah, that was, I thought it was kind of like the way he was like, I hope you don't see me in like what a different light, or this changes how you
ugh.
see me. And she was like,
She got sassy with him.
she
It was
got
kind
so
of funny.
sassy. It
It
was
was
the
very
best. I'm
funny.
sorry.
Yeah.
I loved it
Yeah.
because entertainment too, guys. But like,
Yeah.
she was
Like,
just
that was a
like, come on now.
real, she called him out.
She did.
She did.
She did.
he
Just the other
felt
side.
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just, and but again, like kind of the pedestal thing where it's like that is going to be, I don't know. We just saw a different side to her.
We totally
And
did.
like, is that how she resolves things? Is that how he resolves things? They're not a great,
Mm-mm.
that's not great, you know?
Mm-mm. Mm.
So
He was like totally, he didn't know what to say because he was caught off guard by her like
he
frankness.
was,
Because
yeah.
we haven't
She
seen
wasn't
that.
like that. No, she was
Yeah.
always so like polished and
Yeah.
just,
Positive and
not
just
to say that being
bright-eyed.
angry is not a polished thing, but
It's
it's like,
not.
yeah, so positive and like just kind of easygoing, just
Yeah.
wanting to be
Mhm.
supportive.
Mhm.
No,
He saw the other side.
yeah,
I'm
a
sorry,
little
but that was
bit.
kind of amusing because he was speechless. Like he didn't really know how to
Yeah.
wrap it up. He didn't know what to
She's like,
say.
come on.
Yeah, I know. She kept saying it. Come on. Like, and the way she would go,
She was like, don't touch me. Don't look at me. I don't want to ever
like,
want to talk to you
this is
again.
like, oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like seeing her reaction and then Daisy's reaction with Joey last year, where she told him that this is it, like she's done,
Yeah.
like he's not the one to break up with her. I kind of love these new takes
Yeah.
on the women in The Bachelor, not just, and there's nothing wrong with crying, I'm not saying that, guys, but we've seen that most of the time that we're seeing a little difference, and hey,
Hmm.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, like
Yeah.
they're taking it into their own hands and they're like,
They're
hey,
empowered. And I
yes,
do love that. That's so true. Yeah. It's like, this is your show, but
these are
it's
their
my
hearts.
heart.
Yeah, right?
Jinx. Oh my God. We're just
I
like
know.
so on the same page. Yes, it's their
Like,
heart. Exactly.
yes. And you know what I also gleaned from this with this situation too, and how Grant handled it. And I also just want to say real quick, I don't think he did this intentionally to hurt her. I don't think he's a player. I just think he
Mhm.
was caught up in the moment with her and Juliana because we've talked about this, guys. We knew the whole time it was those two. Like you could just
Yes.
tell. It
Yeah.
was those two at the end. And he got caught up, I think, and just was so involved. And every time he was with each of these women, it was just, I love you. I want to be with you. Let's end it now. I
Mhm.
don't think he did it intentionally. However, I think he could
Yeah.
have been more aware. And like you said,
Yes.
reckless. He was reckless and he could have been more aware. And I feel like it would have been nice if he owned up to it a little bit more instead of kind of
Mhm.
acting like that's her
It's your
truth.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what someone says when they're like, I don't agree with that. I don't think that happened, but I'm
Yeah.
glad you have your truth.
That's what you say when you don't really care to dig in.
Hmm.
But maybe that's the Sagittarius in him. Can he
That's
go
right.
deeply into that well of emotions? Maybe he just
Oh.
can't match it because he can't comprehend it, you know?
Yes.
We learned so much from Natalie
So
last
much,
time.
so much. I was telling my
Um,
husband about it too. I was like, Sagittarius
yeah,
man, because my son's
so
one. It's like my
interesting. Yep,
son.
my husband. I've
Yeah.
learned a
Oh
lot
my
about him the past week too. Um,
gosh.
but you know what else? All right, I feel like we're almost done with this, but like Grant, he should have either shut his mouth a little more
Yes.
about all these proclamations,
Hmm.
or like what Latia actually said is like, you should have at least told me that your heart was somewhere else also.
Hmm.
Like, I had no idea. I literally thought she was just like here with us.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
so I think that Grant, not that you're doing this
Yeah.
again, but men, hey, if you're listening and you want to be on The Bachelor,
Yes.
please just be honest in the way
Yes.
that's actually honest, not
Yeah.
just excited, reckless honesty.
Hmm.
Actually be straight up if you are in love with more than one person, or maybe just even that I'm torn, you know, it's
Hmm.
hard because Latia didn't even hear that.
Hmm.
She heard, I know it's you. I'm
Yes.
not torn,
Hmm.
essentially.
Hmm. Said the
The
same
whole
thing to
thing. It's hard
Juliana,
to
but
see. It's
the
hard to
difference is
see.
Juliana's the one.
Yeah.
So,
No
um,
one's questioning that one. Yeah.
oof. Yeah, that was such a good point for those in the future. Stop with the recklessness, guys. Can I say about the
Yeah.
Bachelor and Bachelorette and the difference I see? I mean, there's many differences,
Hmm.
but one of the two big things I see with the Bachelor, the men have trouble making a decision. and they seem to fall in love or strong like with more than one woman, and they can be reckless. They're just like word vomit, like I love you, I love you, I love you, like everyone.
I slept
And
with all of you.
yes, right? Exactly. The like it seemed, and not every man. Obviously, we saw with Joey, he didn't
Yeah.
do that, okay?
God.
But with the many of them, I think that's the common theme for The
Yeah.
Bachelor. And then you have on the other end of that with The Bachelorette, the issue with that show is that it's really hard to find men in a certain age group that are actually ready to commit and get married.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they need to do with that show, but they need to figure it out because the casting is trash most of the time. So you have casting that's trash with The Bachelorette, and then you have the men on The Bachelor, the leads, that just are like, I love everyone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Kid
Which,
in the candy store.
like, yeah, like kids in a candy store. Exactly.
The men
Uh,
are the kids in the candy store, and
mhm.
the women are the bottom of the barrel. Just
Yes.
kidding.
No, I mean,
Just
they get
kidding.
the
But it's
bottom of the
like they're like,
barrel.
what's
The
going
most of
on?
the time, not all of them. I mean, there's some gems that
Maybe
look at
not the
Joey,
bottom,
look
but
at
definitely
Dottie.
not the
Look,
candy.
yes, it is hard. And this is rough. And I don't know
It's
how they
just
would
hard for
possibly
men at that
change it.
age too.
It is. They're so, and I'm not blaming men at this age, but it's science, guys. Some men are ready at that age, some, but it's not common. So like
Hmm.
look at the science. People are literally, we are so different, all of us. And it doesn't
Hmm.
even matter whether you are gay or lesbian, queer, like it doesn't even matter. It's just genetically whoever you are, like who you feel like you truly are, it makes a difference. Like it just does.
Yeah.
Like it's science.
Yeah. And I feel like, oh, I don't know, we could keep going and going about it, but
Yeah.
like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, it's just hard to know really how it's going to play out. So, like, you do have to take a gamble on these guys. I think in the end, Bachelor or like Grant was a good bachelor.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm reflecting on it, and actually, like last night was just such a great finale,
It
in my opinion. It just makes me look more in a positive light in the whole season. And I'm like, you know what? I think he did a good job.
yeah.
I just think that he needs more support from the franchise
Mm.
to avoid these pitfalls, you know? Where was his producer being like, hey, you really got to cool it on these proclamations? You know, like that's where they need a little more support. Like these people should be growing as people, not just us watching them have fun
Yeah.
and like try and find love. Like we
Yeah.
should see a little more growth. I would love if they had like some sort of like mentor
Mhm.
or like psychologist step in once every few episodes. Like,
It would be
I
too
don't know.
healthy, Julia. It
Oh,
wouldn't
I
be.
like it though. I like it
It would be too
though.
healthy and they wouldn't get the drama. And I like the point that you
We
made
need Mel
about
Schilling from
his
Australia.
right. I love the point that you said that his producer should have been like, "Hey, man, cool it on the proclamations." But then again, I
Yeah.
bet that producer was like, "Hey, oh, this is gonna be good TV." Like, talk, or maybe talking to another producer, and the producer's like, "Hey, don't stop him.
Don't.
Let him say
Yeah.
these things. It's
We're
okay."
so torn.
But yeah, I thought Grant was a great bachelor too. Great Grant. I like Grant, and like I said, I don't think he intentionally did this.
Yeah.
He just got caught up and let himself go in the process in this journey, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, if you're gonna be on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, hey guys, if you're going on a future season of The Bachelorette and you think, hey, you never know, you could end up being The Bachelor. Remember this. Don't be reckless with others' hearts.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Please. Because also, you don't want that girl, that woman to come for you. Okay?
I was just gonna say,
Okay.
time to talk about the final after the final rose. I think we've already basically spelled out how it went down with
Yes.
Latia, though, but she
Mhm.
just once again,
Yes.
almost verbatim, like
Yes.
threw it right back in his face. He responded, "Is that your truth?"
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, really, that was it.
That was a lot.
I do think they did have some sort of closure.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
she still hates him.
Yes.
I think he's
Yes.
scared of her. They'll
Yes.
probably never speak again.
Yes. I totally think he's
Um,
scared of her. Yes.
for sure. He was like, goodbye.
Yeah, he was like,
Um,
"Whoa."
But I do think that she got it out of her system.
Yeah,
He felt terrible, you could tell.
he did.
I think that he still, I mean, what's the point at this point? But
Yeah.
like the inner work would be nice for him to do on,
Yes.
you know,
I don't
just
think he got it.
making sure. Yeah. I think he's just kind of like, that's your truth.
Yeah.
So sorry you're hurt.
And I think he was very much like, because like in that happy hour interview, he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna. It's tough on the person that you don't choose, but like I knew who I wanted. It's like he didn't get it.
Yeah.
He
It's like
was,
he's moving forward,
yeah.
which
It's
part of
like,
me is like, that's all you can do. But
yeah,
like, please learn from it so that you
yes,
don't mess things up with Juliana one
yeah.
day.
And you know, we honestly, I hope they work out. I do think they're cute together. The
Yeah.
track record for The Bachelor and Bachelorette's not great, even when
Yeah.
people get
But
married.
recently it's been better.
Well, I so
Joey,
yeah,
Zach.
there was a gap. There was a gap, and
Yeah.
then we got Zach and Joey. So, and definitely we know Zach and Katie are getting married, and they are already scheduling their wedding for this year. We don't know details because they're
Yay.
more private about it, which is great.
They are.
You
I
guys
love
be
that.
private, do your thing.
Yeah.
And then Joey and Kelsey, I feel like yeah, they are gonna get married and they're gonna have kids. They're gonna have a family. They have time. So yeah, but there was a gap there where there was nothing.
Yeah.
It was just
It was just fail,
catastrophe.
fail, fail.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I have high hopes for them. Something that Juliana said, so they bring her out,
yeah,
and obviously they're in their like beautiful fiance bubble. They're really happy. Neither of them actually watched the finale, I think. So she
yeah,
didn't really see all this stuff with Latia.
yeah,
She's just happy to be with Grant,
yeah,
showing off the ring.
yeah.
Um, Something that I really liked, Jesse asked her, like, what was it? Shoot. I can't remember what she exactly said, but he was like, how did you like did you give him grief or something
Uh,
for like his choice, like his inability to choose? And she said, I gave him grace, not grief. And I was just like my heart was just like, oh my God, what a beautiful
yeah,
perspective. Like that's what you say. That's the way you look at the person you love. That's the
yeah,
kind of like love and like that's how you treat them. You know, you got to give them grace, not grief. And I just like really loved that she said that. And like
yeah.
again, it just shows that there is a much more mature aspect to her and their relationship.
See,
Even though Latia is so mature because she wants kids and she's religious, but like
but she's also
really, I mean,
older.
Juliana is very mature too. We can't like just sorry that she's fun, you know?
They didn't show it to us. I feel like they
Yeah. I just thought that was a
purposefully were
beautiful thing.
trying to
Mhm.
show a certain way so we could see a difference between the two, probably.
Yes, so true.
What they do.
Pitting women against each other.
So, it is what it is, but I'm glad they're together. He definitely made the right
Mhm.
choice for him. They are better suited for each other for sure. And I think they're more on the same wavelength. I think more than
Yes.
I think,
He's
like I said,
moving to
Latia
Boston
to
for
be,
her.
wow. Which will be close
Huge.
to his dad, though, kind of. Although
Yeah.
Boston's kind of out there compared to
I
like the rest of the states,
know.
but in cities. But his
Mhm.
dad's in New Jersey,
Yeah.
so it's still East Coast. So it's a quick flight. And I think he's happy too. Grant seems really excited to join her family because it's such a big family. He's always wanted that.
Yeah. But it's just like
And
such like it's just a huge difference from Texas.
yeah, oh yeah. But
Like
he's
it's just
originally from
wow.
Jersey. So he
True.
so he
Oh
he says
though.
he
It's
considers
cold up
himself an
there.
East Coaster. So
Yeah.
he grew up in Jersey, and so I think like he's used to it, but it is different though, guys.
Uh-huh.
Boston
It's
is
just
different.
cold. No,
But
but
like the
Boston's
vibe,
cool.
the
Yeah.
people are different than like New York and Jersey and
Hmm.
Philly. Like they're all different, but it's like Boston's, in my opinion, really different from the other three.
Oh, really?
But it's gonna be a new experience for him. So, and he'll have
Yeah.
Juliana and her family, and that's all that
Yes,
matters.
he'll have so much like support
He
there.
will be just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to Italy for
I
their
know
trip. They're
that
like,
was really great to see. They deserve
so
it. They
it
need
is
that.
Yeah, so that's
They
going
need
to
to make
be
this a normal thing.
fun for them. But so
Yes.
basically, is there anything else about that before we get to like the other big news that we heard
I
last
think that's
night?
it.
Um,
Oh my God. Okay, so the
let's
two
get
bigs,
into
you
it.
want to go first? What do you want to talk about first?
So, Bachelor in Paradise this summer, they made an
Which
announcement.
we've been so excited about,
Yes,
everyone.
yes, so
It's
exciting.
returning.
Yeah, and it's
But
gonna return in the summer, they said. So they're actually gonna air it in the summer, which is smart because it's hello, Bachelor in Paradise,
summer.
guys. Let's not see it in the
Yeah.
fall. Um, but Jesse told us that it will be a Bachelor in Paradise with both the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette contestants as well as the flagship show Bachelor and Bachelorette contestants. They will be
Yeah.
together. We're assuming together. We
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
honestly did not do a good job with explaining it.
No, they did not.
I was left feeling
Hmm.
confused.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's wonderful to give them this platform. We like
Yes,
the Golden Bachelor
love
people.
them. Yeah.
We were hoping for a nice cruise that they could
Yes.
comfortably mingle in on
Yes.
their own terms, on their own
Yeah.
show. We think that would be awesome.
They
To
deserve it.
imagine them on a beach with a bunch of younger, slutty, not
Ah!
slutty, not slutty, but you
We're
know what I
kidding.
mean?
We're
Just like
kidding. We've all been
drunk
there.
and,
Yeah.
you
It's a
know,
different
um,
vibe.
it's the vibe. And that's okay. That's what we want. That's what we want, the vibe. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We love Bachelor in Paradise for that. But
Mm-hmm.
to mix those two, it's just confusing to me.
It's yeah. It's
People are
it's
excited.
interesting. We're
I think people are
excited.
still processing. We have a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
Good point. Yes, I think people are still processing. Love these contestants in their respective shows and universes.
Hmm.
Love
Hmm.
Leslie, love Gary. Was so excited that
Oh,
they are
Zoe
going
will
to
be
be
on.
seen
Zoe came on
again.
and she's going to be on.
Yeah, Zoe from The Bachelor is going to
The
be on.
younger.
We know
Yeah.
that Jonathan from Jen's season, because they announced that at the end of Jen's season, I believe, he's going to be on. So that's fun. Looking forward to seeing former cast members from Joey's season that didn't get a Bachelor in Paradise, to see them on the beach, who the one contestants I loved, who I would love to at least have a nice fling, if not find love. And
Yeah.
to see all of these people. But yeah, I think that each of these universes, I call them, well, different groups within the universe, I think they deserve their own shows. That's all.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We'll see how it is. Maybe it'll be super exciting and awesome. Maybe it will be like they're on separate beaches, but they mingle for a couple of episodes. Maybe the Goldens come in for advice, or competitions, and they're doing
Yeah. I think
competitions
that would be
now.
good.
That
Because
would be
honestly, I just want
awesome.
these people in a hotel. Like,
Yes, they
it was bad
deserve
enough they had to be
to
on bunk
be,
beds.
right? They deserve a nice resort.
Yeah.
Okay? They've lived their lives. They put in the
That's like one of the main
time.
issues I have with it. Hmm.
Just please don't put them in the same conditions that The Bachelor in Paradise has been in the past because they don't need that. Come on.
Yeah.
They deserve
And
better.
it's just like, I don't know, it's just a little bit like disappointing to me because like I was really looking forward to like not only finally having Bachelor in Paradise, but like with a new showrunner and like just like this fresh new energy. And it just seems almost too different that I'm kind of
Mhm.
like, okay, what is it gonna be like?
Yeah.
It
Yep.
seems almost like two shows at
Yes.
once. Like, are they gonna do one rose ceremony? Like,
Yeah. And
are
does
we
this
expecting
mean
the age people to mix? Like,
is that no, like, yeah, seriously. And like, are there going to be less people then of each group?
yeah.
Because there's so
Mm-hmm.
many people I wanted to see
It's a
from
lot of
each of these
people.
groups. Yeah. So now it's going to be
Yeah.
less people. That's unfair. Are there going to be people cut
There's
out who
usually
are
like
really
20
wanted?
people on that
Yeah.
beach at any
So
given time.
are they just going to have 10 and 10? That's unfair.
It's,
Five
yeah.
from Golden Bachelor, five from Golden Bachelorette, five from Bachelor, five from Bachelorette. We missed seasons with the Bachelor and Bachelorette. So, like, how are they going to possibly choose? Like, I don't, that's also what kind of makes me go, I'm confused. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Like, I
looking
want to be excited
forward.
about it, but I'm honestly just
Yes,
more confused than
confused.
anything.
I'm happy for the people going on because they have another chance at love and to also put themselves out
Yeah.
there because they deserve to be influencers. They deserve to make money like everyone does on this show now.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just confused. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I guess I just kind of I feel like maybe deep down I just need a little more clarity of how it's going to go down.
Yeah. Jesse did not explain it.
They probably don't know. They probably are like they're still figuring out. They're still brainstorming at the production room. They're still like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go through this again. What are we thinking? What do
Mm.
we get? I mean, we know these
What's
three
the
people are going to be
vision?
there. Four people. So we got two from each group. What do we? I don't
Yeah.
know. They're like,
Oh,
that's why we
I
don't
don't
know. That's why
know.
Jesse doesn't know because no one knows.
Nobody knows.
They're just throwing it out there and hoping for the
Yeah.
best, hoping it sticks.
I'm
Like they're
hoping
throwing
that
out.
it was like, yeah, I'm hoping it was like dipping their toes in the water.
Mhm.
And they've now seen the public reaction, which I think like, I mean, our Instagram, we put out a thing. We're like, do we love this? How do we feel?
Mhm.
The results were pretty mixed
Yeah.
from how people responded. But I do think like when they announced it last night on the show, there was like a beat. Like it was like, what? Like everybody was just like, and
Confused.
then a slow clap began because what?
Hmm.
Nobody expected this. And
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a surprise. I don't know if I would call it dramatic.
No. Can they stop with that?
You know.
I don't think it's Jesse. I just think it's what they're telling him to say in the teleprompter.
Yeah.
It's not it's not really that serious.
Throwback. Remember when he randomly like talked about like Monday Night Football
Oh, I know.
or
I loved it. That
something?
was so
And
funny.
everyone was
It was
like,
so funny.
what? Nobody clapped. Everyone was just like, cool, Jesse, we don't care.
I thought
Like,
it was so
that
funny.
was
I
funny.
was like, that's Jesse's world too, guys.
Yeah. He's like, and also baking, kids baking show
Right?
premiere.
His holiday baking shows are fun though. I
Oh,
like
yeah. He's so good at
I love
his
seeing
job.
Jesse like
I
hosting.
know.
Like and he's good at being an analyst and being a host for football too,
Mhm.
guys. Like check it
Mhm. Oh, I
out.
don't
He
watch
does a
that at
good job.
all.
He does a good job. Um
But anyways, I mean,
anyways,
I think that was everything.
yeah, that's
The
it.
other thing was Zoe was going to be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
She
is
has a
awesome. I love
haircut, very
Zoe.
cute. It's like mine, but she had it
Yes.
like flipped out. It
Yes.
was
She
so
looks
cute. And I
so
was like,
good.
I should do my hair that way.
I was like, go.
It was really good for her.
Yeah. But she always looks beautiful. I hope she meets someone from the universe that's a good guy, please. Just
Yeah.
please.
Maybe on the beach, maybe not. I don't
Maybe on the
see.
beach, maybe
I'm
not.
like not believing in it anymore. I'm like, how's she gonna meet someone if there's only like four other guys on the beach? Like,
Really? Seriously. Are we just ruining it for them? I don't know. For all
I
of
don't
them?
know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just too new
We're
for me
being
to
too
like
much.
be,
Yeah, I think we're.
yeah, I feel like I am excited for the
Yes.
people,
Yes.
but I just wish that they like gave them their own shows.
Yes.
Like,
That's
I
all.
really thought we were gonna get both. And it's
Yes.
like kind of almost like,
Try to
okay, you're
save
trying to
money?
cut corners. Yeah,
Yeah.
save money.
Yeah.
Like,
Like mix them up. Save money.
mm,
Same resort, same place. Let's go. Like, sorry. I don't know. Sorry. But
I
yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
really happy for the people that are going to be on it
Yeah,
to have
like
this
it is
opportunity.
exciting,
So exciting
but
for them.
I'm confused.
Just confused about the
Help
format.
us, Jesse. Explain more, please.
Come on, Jesse. Jesse doesn't know. They're probably didn't tell Jesse's like, I don't know how this is going to go down, but I'm
He's
getting the
like, no
team
one
to,
told me,
yeah.
so that's the show, guys. See you
Woo!
next
Okay. See you in the
on the beach.
summer. I don't
Yeah.
think. We're
See you
also
on the
focusing on
beach.
filming the next Golden Bachelor. So.
See, yeah, that's the thing. It's like we're not getting Bachelorette. We're getting another Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelor with Golden. It's like, what is this franchise becoming? Is it all just going to be like Golden stuff from now
I
on?
don't think
I'm
so.
sorry that you're failing at the younger crowd, but like that doesn't mean you give up and just keep going for like,
We will still see Bachelor for sure because it's the
in,
flagship show, 100%.
yeah.
They will always do it every season. But Bachelorette, like we talked about before, they skip seasons in between from time to time,
Yeah.
which I think is unfair and
They
not
keep
right because
messing
they
it
don't know what
up.
to do with it sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's messed up. I also don't love that we're missing a Bachelorette season because I feel like we're missing out on a new Bachelorette. Like, because I like the Bachelorette guys because I feel like
Yeah.
even though I'm not dating anymore, I relate more to it. So I
Yeah.
find it more entertaining and in that way. But they're gonna focus on Bachelor in Paradise. This summer they're gonna start filming Golden Bachelor because it's Golden Bachelor's turn because they did Golden Bachelorette last fall with Joan and Chalk, who are doing well, who we also saw on the
They
show.
are
Yay,
doing well.
guys!
Yeah.
Woo, 4 months. So we're gonna see Golden Bachelor, and then it's gonna go right back to The Bachelor. But then again, who's that Bachelor gonna be? Because there's no Bachelorette season.
Someone from Gen season
Oh gosh,
29.
no!
Okay.
Jonathan's already going to paradise.
Yeah.
No! It's got to be someone
Yeah.
from a
Somebody different.
season way back. Just don't
Yeah.
choose someone who's never been on the show again. I think we've
Please, not Matt
learned from
James.
that. We've
Just kidding.
learned from that, guys. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Well, guys,
Anyways,
yeah,
that's
I
it.
think that's it. That's
That's
a
it.
wrap on our, how many seasons have
This
we
is our
done
fourth
now?
season.
Fourth
So
season.
fifth season for Bachelor in Paradise this summer,
Woo!
guys. Check us out.
Oh, yeah. Again, we may have to do an update
We will.
or
Yeah.
two until
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Get
Um,
some interviews in.
yes, we are definitely going to work on that.
Although
Exciting.
some of our interview people we were thinking of maybe on Paradise, and then they're going to be under contract again. So,
No,
no, just
we
kidding.
got to get them now. We have to email them like now.
Yeah, like this week,
Yeah.
this weekend, like, huh? Hi.
Also, really quick, just wanted to shout out to Natalie, our
Yes.
star sign girl. If
Yes.
you listened to our last episode, we talked through it with her.
Mhm.
Without even watching the show, she called all this. She called it.
Yes. Yep.
And we now are just like, wow,
Every time.
she is so on point. It's so cool.
Yes.
And yeah, so shout out to Natalie. Good job. She's excited. I texted her this morning, told her what's up. She's like, I knew it, the Taurus. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. But yeah,
Shout out to
thanks guys for, yeah, good job. But thanks guys for following us again for another
Mhm.
season. We're excited to keep going, and
Remember to like us, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere on socials, Patreon, and also rate us 5 stars. Remember, if it's not 5 stars, we don't want it. And tell your friends about us.
yes, have a good one. See
Bye,
you next
guys.
season, guys. Bye.
Season. Bye.